How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's David here, and we're back with the 7th episode of our podcast. And in this episode, we talk about IntelliBoard announces IntelliScreen X7 with new videos and photos, beta to be released soon. Apple Store is now giving new Apple TV buyers a $25 iTunes gift card. U.S. House passes a bill that makes unlocking iPhones legal. Nearly 1/3 of brand new iOS games are Flappy Bird clones. Samsung announces brand new Galaxy S5. Popular jailbreak tool Evasion 7 gets updated to version 1.0.7. Apple finally releases OS X 10.9.2 to the public, and much, much more. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's David here, and we're back with the 7th episode of our podcast. And I am here with my co-host, Max from Another Apple News. Back with this for the 7th time, with the 7th episode of our podcast. So, Max, go ahead, say hi.
What is going on YouTube? Another Apple News here. We're back with our 7th podcast?
7th, yeah.
7th podcast, and today we have a lot of topics for you guys.
How was your week, Max?
Good. How was yours?
Good. Not much to complain about. We're supposed to get a snowstorm Monday, so we may not have school, which is pretty good. So, anyway, so this first jailbreak week, I think I'm a little bit more excited about it. I don't know. I definitely think Max is excited about it, but I knew about this since the beginning because, you know, I've been jailbreaking for a little bit longer than he has. So, IntelliBoard actually announced about a week ago that IntelliScreen X7 is going to be released. Now, they tweeted again, I believe it was like a day or two ago, they actually tweeted that the beta is going to be released soon. So if it's in the default repo, which it more than likely won't be if it's going to be a beta tweak, then we'll just say that you can look for it in the beta, in the default repo. But if it's not, like I'm thinking, then we will put down the repo below for the beta once, you know, that launches and everything. But right now it is not launched at the recording of this podcast. So what do you think, Max? Do you like IntelliScreen 7? I mean, you know, you saw the video and the pictures, and do you like it?
From what I saw so far, I mean, I liked it and I look forward to it. But I'm not as excited as you are. You're probably like the #1 fan for it.
Yeah, now I did not actually have that installed on iOS 6, but now with IntelliScreen X7, I'm going to install it on iOS 7, and this is one of the flagship tweaks, ladies and gentlemen, that if you jailbreak, you're probably going to want to get. This Spring-to-Mize 3 barrel, cylinder, all those kind of tweaks are the flagship tweaks that make up a perfect jailbroken phone, and in the end, you guys are going to love this jailbreak tweak. Now, if you guys want to see it, there is a video that IntelliBoard posted, which is what we're talking about. So if you want to see that, I'll put that down where the timestamps are. So if you want to see that again, it will be down in the description below for that. We'll put that link. So if you want to see that on YouTube, you know, they put a YouTube link down there. All right, so anyway, so that's probably going to be really cool. So the next thing we have to talk about is vColor. Now, basically what vColor allows you guys to do is it basically allows you guys to change the color of the status HUD of the volume slider. Now, that's pretty cool. Now, it's normally a stock white color, but you can change it to basically any color you want. And it's really not that limited, which is pretty nice. So what do you think of the tweak, Max? Did you have a chance to get it yet or no?
I was planning on it to get it.
So, yeah, so vColor is a pretty nice tweak. You can find it in the Big Boss repo for free right now. And yeah, so the next one I think is very interesting. Apple stores are now giving away Apple TV buyers. They're now giving Apple TV buyers a $25 iTunes gift card for free with the purchase of a brand new Apple TV. So this has been hinting at possibly a refresh of the old Apple TV, bringing the $100 Apple TV down to just $75. So I mean, I never really, I think of the Apple TV as sort of being like a Netflix sort of service. I don't know. I've never really had much of a usage of the Apple TV before since I don't have one. I've never used the Apple TV before. But who knows? The next generation of the Apple TV could be really good. It might be a lower, price because they're doing this. I don't know. So do you think you'll get an Apple TV, Max?
I'm fine with the TV that I have now.
Well, it's there's a difference. There's an iTV that's supposed to be coming out soon. I don't know when. They're supposed to be announcing that, I think, this year or next year. And then the Apple TV, which has been out for like years now. I want to say a good 4.5 to 5 years, since before Steve Jobs passed. And basically, it's basically a streaming service like Netflix. It's a box that you get basically for $100. You install it on your TV, and it's basically like a Netflix for your TV, except it's not built in. So yeah, so maybe that's hinting. It's really hinting at a new thing. But yeah. So what do you think about that, Max? Do you think that the $25 reduction is a good price? Do you think? I mean, you said you weren't going to get it, but do you think for someone that's looking at an Apple TV? Do you think you would wait to see the new refreshed version of the Apple TV, or do you think you would go to the Apple Store and buy it now?
I would wait.
You'd wait, yeah, because what does Apple have in store for us, and that's always the question. So anyway, the next topic we have to talk about is Apple is working on a new Touch ID inspired iOS update. Now, if you guys know, Touch ID is only currently right now on the iPhone 5S, but I believe the next generation of the iPad mini will probably have that, or the next generation of the iPads, I guess you could say. But yeah, so basically the 5S's Touch ID sensor is a little bit buggy. There was ways to bypass that when it first came out, and altogether it's not the best thing. It's not as good as Apple, advertises. So I guess it's pretty buggy. If you have a cut on your finger, it doesn't recognize it sometimes. So that would definitely be a deal breaker for me if I was going to get a 5S. And I'd be like, well, what if I cut my finger by accident? And then, is there no way to get into my phone now because I only registered one fingerprint, and it was my left, my left thumb. And because I cut my left thumb, now I can't use Touch ID. So that's something to talk about there. But anyway, so hopefully they get all that fixed. I know both of us don't have a 5S, so we really haven't experienced it. Does anyone in your family own a 5S, Max?
Not currently.
No? Okay. Well, yeah, my family does not have a 5S either, but probably my family's going to get a 6 when it comes out. But anyway, so this is actually a really great statistic, I think. Nearly 1/3 of new iOS games that launch on the App Store are Flappy Bird clones. Wow. And you can just imagine the popularity of this game. I mean, when it first launched back in May of 2013, I think it was, I don't think the developer had the intent that it would make 50K in revenue, each day. I don't think he thought it was going to do that well at first. So I definitely think, was it a right decision to take down the app? Well, the guy was getting harassed on Twitter. So all in all, even though it's a really fun game, and a lot of people loved it, I think it should have gotten taken down from the App Store anyway, because it's a too addictive game. People were harassing him on Twitter and stuff. I mean, it's not going to take it away because you can still download it from, Tongaboo and various other sources. You can get the .ipa file or the .apk file offline. I mean, so it's still available in some way or another. So it's not like, it's just limited to the App Store and Google Play and, all that kind of stuff. So that's another thing you have to think about. But, all in all, I think it was probably a good decision to take that out of the App Store. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, as soon as the day that it went out of the App Store, we saw the App Store get, bombarded with all of these new clones. And, all of them all of them are trying to be better than each other by like including something different. Like Splashy Fish has like different levels, I think. I don't even
Yeah.
know. It has like upgrades and stuff. But I don't play that much of the clones or Flappy Bird itself, so.
Yeah. Well, there is a new Flappy Bird clone that just got released by Tanner from ICUID. So if he's watching this, which I doubt you are, I may leave a comment in one of your videos saying that I mentioned you. But he developed him and a couple other people developed this application, Tap Birdie. It's basically a Flappy Bird alternative. There's 3 levels: easy, medium, and hard at this point. Easy is pretty easy. Hard is like insanely hard. You're in space, and you sort of have to navigate, and it goes really fast. And you can also tweet your high score and also share it with people on Game Center. So this is actually, I think it's a fun Flappy Bird alternative, even though it's not going to be the same as Flappy Bird, obviously, because Flappy Bird, had a lot of ad revenue and a lot of that stuff. But I'm just trying to get him a little bit more popular. So if anyone wants to do it, it's available right now in the App Store. It's called, what is it again? Let me just see. Sorry, I just downloaded it this morning. Sorry, Tanner. But it is called Tap Birdie. Okay, so all you guys got to do is go in the App Store and search for Tap Birdie if you guys want this app. It is a free app in Apple's App Store. As of right now. So go ahead, you guys can check that out. It's available for free. So next thing we have to talk about is, now this is actually another cool story. The U.S. House passes a bill that makes unlocking iPhones legal. So if you guys know, back in 2013, which was last year, the House met, as well as everyone, the whatchamacallit, I don't remember what it's called, but they met and they discussed, the laws and stuff. And one of the laws was, this for jailbreaking and unlocking, and they deemed jailbreaking legal and unlocking illegal. Now the problem with this is, if you want to go ahead, if you bought a Verizon phone, you want to go ahead and transfer this over to AT&T. The only way to transfer that over to AT&T without unlocking the phone is buying an entirely new phone. And sometimes it's just a little bit inconvenient to do that, especially when you're, having more money, you're, paying more money than you really need to. So that's the argument I would give. I would never really use it because I would stay on Verizon because that is my carrier. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I am glad that the U.S. House passed the bill that makes it legal. So let's hope it gets over to, the House of Representatives, and it gets as far as to the president, and let's hope the law is passed that it's made legal. We can only hope for that. But again, that's a really a good thing. What do you think about it, Max? Do you think you would ever unlock your phone? I mean, I don't have a purpose to. Do you think you ever would?
Not really. I mean, maybe like once in a while down the road, but I'm not sure at this point right now.
Yeah, well, it's useful for a lot of people that are trying to sell their phone on eBay or whatever, and they say, oh, well, yeah, we have a pre-unlocked or pre-jailbroken phone on eBay, and they list it for more because as time goes on, it gets rarer and rarer and rarer, and we're starting to see that, Apple's patching key exploits in Invasion 7, and it is inevitable, like we keep saying, the 7.1 will patch the jailbreak. So it's becoming rarer and rarer for, people to find jailbroken phones, jailbroken things, and unlock things and stuff like that. So the prices are definitely going to go up on eBay for phones and iPods and iPads that are jailbroken and unlocked. But anyway, so the next thing we have to talk about is this jailbreak tweak called Spin. Now, it's available for free in Cydia's Big Boss repo. This is probably a really cool jailbreak tweak, but it does, as of right now, it does have currently a lot of bugs. So if you are not the person that likes to experience bugs, then I advise you at this point in the game to not download this. But basically what you see when you unlock the device. So normally it's a square, but it actually has a circular motion, and it's called Spin because when you change tracks, it spins
spins in and out, sort of like a track list on DJ or whatever sort of DJ application you're looking for. But it's a pretty cool tweak. But the only negative side to that, like I said, there is no no swiping between songs, so you can't actually swipe. You can't skip into this like a minute into the song, without going into iTunes default and swiping to unlock the device. Another thing also that I've noticed is the touch controls seem to interfere with the slide to unlock text. So there is like a setting in the options to completely remove the slide to unlock text. That way it doesn't interfere with that, and altogether it's not as buggy as it is. So it's definitely a pretty cool jailbreak tweak, but I would say for those of you who are on the fence about this, that to just wait for right now and don't download this if you don't want to experience any bugs or any potential issues like that. But anyway, did you get a chance to demo this yet, Max?
Not yet.
No? Okay. Well, it is a pretty cool.
I plan on it.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool jailbreak tweak, like I've said. So yeah, the next thing we have to talk about. Oh boy, Apple finally. I know we've been talking about this for a while. They finally released OS X 10.9.2 to the public. So that's something we've been waiting for, because 10.9.2. I don't know how many betas you've had. You've had about what? Let's see. Beta 1, Beta 2, Beta 3. You've had about like 6 or 7 different betas. So, and even in iOS 7, I only remember it going up to 5 betas. It didn't even go up to 7 or 6. So, they had a lot of bugs to work out, for the final version of 10.9.2. But altogether, basically it fixes that same SSL patch. It also adds FaceTime audio, as well as new Gmail integration, and stuff like that. So all in all, it's a free upgrade if you already have Mavericks. It's a free upgrade. So go ahead and install that if you're on a later firmware on your Mac than 10.9.2. Go ahead and install that. It's a really good security update. It fixes the open bug of SSL, the open SSL bug, and basically it closes that bug up. So now there's no glitches and any of that kind of stuff. So that's probably something that's really good. But anyway, did you update your dad's Mac to this yet, or no? Not yet.
Nope.
Do you think you will?
Maybe.
Okay. So now this is something that we're probably going to spend a while on. So Samsung finally unveiled, it was, I believe, sometime last week. Samsung finally unveiled their new line of Galaxy, the new Galaxy S5, and it's basically a ripoff of the iPhone 5S. Now, basically, it's got a biometric sensor, also known as Touch ID, but Apple patented that name, so Samsung cannot use that. So that is why it's simply called biometric sensor. So basically, it's built into the home button. Who would have guessed? And so basically, it's the same idea as Touch ID, except it just looks a little bit different. And it's got Retina display. It's a 4.5-inch screen, whatever. So it's basically a ripoff of the 5S. Do you think you'll switch to Android with this? Do you think it'll make you want to switch to or keep on Apple more? Because I know as soon as it got announced and I saw the specs, I immediately thought, okay, well, I'm staying on Apple. I am an Apple fanboy, but for the Samsung fanboys, I think they even question themselves a little bit. Like, okay, well, this Galaxy S5 isn't as good as we thought it was going to be. So do you think you'll switch anytime soon?
Nope.
You're going to stay with Apple?
Of course.
Good. Well, anyway, so maybe we're a little bit biased. That's maybe because we like Apple a lot. But I think, a lot of Samsung fans were really complaining that, there was nothing real new to the S5 that we haven't already seen. Just things that they're implementing now from other companies. So that's something definitely that's a big bummer for Samsung users. I know, some of my friends have Samsung phones. One of my friends has a Galaxy S3, and he was thinking of updating to the Galaxy S5, but now there's no real reason to because it doesn't add that much to it. So the next thing, now this is pretty cool. Now we're getting back into jailbreak tweaks. So this tweak is called Vertex. Now it will be in Cydia's Big Boss repo for, I believe, 99 cents. It's coming soon. We have gotten to test that out from the developer. But anyway, So this will, like I said, it will be coming to Cydia's Big Boss repo. So anyway, what do you think of this tweak, Max? Because I know we both tested this out, and basically it brings new functionality into Apple's multitasking. So when you double tap, you get like a little bit of a different interface. What do you think of it, Max? Do you like the different interface? Do you think it's good? What do you think?
I like it. I mean, it's a very good add-on to the jailbreak community, and it's very good.
Yeah, and I think altogether this will definitely replace SB settings. Now, SB settings really isn't compatible with iOS 7. You can install it, and you could, use the activator gesture, and it would let you respring and do all that stuff with the drop-down menu. But if you swiped down on the notification bar, it would not actually let you see any toggles like that. And eventually, we will actually be able to get those toggles back because IntelliScreen X will actually have that for iOS 7. So that, like I said, will be in the beta soon. We don't know when. Probably either later today. We could see it later today. Who knows? I'll check Twitter right now, actually. It would actually be pretty ironic if it's right now. So it hasn't been released yet. Hopefully it will be soon, though. But, yeah, so that's pretty cool. So the next thing we have to talk about, this is minor news. So Evasion 7, the jailbreak tool Evasion 7 officially got updated with iOS 7.0.6 support. So it is recommended that if you're thinking about jailbreaking, update to 7.0.6 first. Then what you need to do is you need to back up your device, then restore in iTunes, and then restore to a fresh new, iOS 7.0.6, and then put everything back up on there as you had it before. This will take away the OTA bug that Evasion 7 is infamous for, and it will work without any issues of stock apps crashing or anything like that. So now if you don't want to update to 7.0.6, say you have a lot of jailbreak tweaks that you rely on, a lot of things you just don't want to update your phone for, and you want to stay on 7.0.4 or whatever firmware you're on that's on iOS 7, there is a jailbreak tweak known as SSL patch available in Cydia from Ryan Petrick. It used to be available in his repo, but now it is available in the default repo, so you can go check it out on the Big Boss repo. But anyway, basically this does the same thing that 7.0.6 does. It just closes that SSL bug. It puts the code. It implements the same code that was found in 7.0.6 on the 7.0.4, but it's just still on 7.0.4, so there's no need to update. So this is probably, if I would have known this was available before I updated to 7.0.6, I probably would have kept 7.0.4. But it really doesn't make a difference now because 7.0.6 is still jailbreakable. So the next thing we have to talk about is power banners. Now, basically, power banners lets you actually. Now, have you ever gotten that really annoying? Basically when your phone goes down or iPad or whatever goes down to 20%, says 20% remaining, that really annoying banner that goes, not banner, message that pops up on your screen, and it stops the video that you may be watching on YouTube. It stops the gameplay, it stops the game that you may be playing on your iPhone, and it's altogether just annoying. Well, basically what this tweak does is instead of displaying that huge message across the screen and basically making it stop everything, now you can still watch your favorite videos on YouTube, play your favorite games, and you can it still sends you that notification when it's 20% or less. It just displays it in a banner notification instead of a huge message, so it only takes up about a quarter of the screen, which is really nice. And yeah, so I have not tested this out yet. Do you think you'll get it, Max? Because I know, the messages are annoying. I think I'm probably going to get this. Do you think you'll get it?
It doesn't really bother me that much. I mean, sometimes, like if I'm watching something that's very interesting or doing something that's very interesting on my phone, and I get like, oh, why did this have to happen?
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel too. But anyway, so the next thing we have to talk about is Message Swiper 7. Max, this is you.
Alright, so Message Swiper 7 allows you, Message Swiper 7 allows you to quickly switch between message threads in Byte SMS and
Sorry, getting the text here.
Messages Plus via into swipe gestures. Sorry about that. And you can quickly navigate messages threads with swipe gestures. Quickly go back to the conversation list with a long swipe to the right, and go to the most recent message with a long swipe to the left. And I didn't really test this out yet. After I was reading about it online, saw what it looked like, and I saw how good it was. So I think I might be getting it right after we finish up and wrap up our show. I'm not sure. I'll have to decide for myself.
So you think you're gonna pick it up? Do you think it's deemed worthy by Sir Max Sobel?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So anyway, so the next thing we have to talk about is a brand new tweak. I think it's available for $1.99 in Cydia's Big Boss Repo, or 99 cents. I forget which one it is. But it is called Rocket Launcher. So this is actually a really nice tweak. I love this tweak. And basically, you can actually, instead of double tapping, you can hold the screen. I'm actually doing it right now, even though you guys can't see. You can hold the screen on the lock screen, and it's basically like a multitasking bar for the lock screen. So this is definitely really cool. Now, they did say in the concept art or stuff, IntelliBoard did say that there's a new swipe gesture for multitasking, and that will probably be as well implemented into the lock screen, so that will probably replace the lock screen eventually. Or that will probably, replace Rocket Launcher eventually. But right now, this is the tweak we have for right now. So what do you think? Did you didn't get it yet, did you?
Nope.
Do you think you'll pick it up?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, anyway, so this is a really good tweak. I really like it. And I think, I think it's a really nice, really unique feature to bring into multitasking. So the next thing we have, and I'm very excited about this, Safari Downloader Plus was finally updated with full iOS 7 support. So if you guys don't know what Safari Downloader Plus is, basically, you basically were able to go on the Safari and download anything offline, and it would be straight into the native Safari, the native Safari app that Apple puts stock on OS X. I almost said OS X. Well, it's OS X too, but iOS. And basically, so it's basically an add-on that lets you download things, and it's really good, especially for me and Max, that do this kind of stuff a lot. Especially for me, I do that kind of stuff a lot. So, it's a very good tweak. I think it's $1.99 right now, but it's well worth the price. So what do you think about it, Max? Do you think you'll pick it up from Cydia?
Well, I better start writing down all the tweaks that I'm going to pick up, because there's sure a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, so, I guess that's a yes then?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. Well, the next thing we have to talk about, and this basically, I guess you could say it basically replaces SB settings, is Touch Bar. Now, I have not gotten this yet. I probably should have gotten it before we started the show. But basically what this allows you to do, you basically just touch the bar on the top of your phone, and basically it brings up this translucent menu, and it's basically like SB settings and Control Center combined, and it's basically a quick toggle screen, and you can turn off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever you want, and Respring, and there's add-ons, I'm sure, with Flip Switch and stuff like that. So it's a very good tweak. I haven't tested it yet, but yeah. So what do you think of it, though, now that I'm telling you this? I know you probably haven't heard of it yet, but what do you think of it?
Well, I'm just hearing about it now, so I might go a little more in deep. I might go and read some more stories about it and see if it is truly worthy to be downloaded onto my phone. Because with all the tweaks that I have right now, I have a feeling, like, is it possible that you can run out of space?
Run out of space for what?
Like, what does the tweaks take up? Like, space?
Space like gigabytes or space like space on the phone?
Both.
Okay. Well, yeah, I could see where it definitely, all these tweaks definitely take up storage. It's
And
just
it
the way
lags
it is.
my phone a lot, so I don't know if it's too much tweaks or...
Well, it definitely depends what you install, like I said. And I'm checking my Twitter feed right now. Not to interrupt, but Evasion 7 1.0.7 is now live on evasion7.com. So it says it's fixing a problem where the bundled package list cannot be updated by Cydia. So this is in the flesh, guys. This was about, let's see, this was 3:56. So this was about, I want to say like 10 minutes, or not 10 minutes ago, but this was about 5 minutes ago. So I'm not sure what's new. Yeah. Okay, so basically it fixes a problem where bundled repository package information could not be refreshed and updated by Cydia, updated bundled Cydia package lists. So, right, I think this is what we were talking about earlier, Max, when we were talking about how, none of your tweaks were showing up in Cydia, and I provided you with a temporary solution. So I guess this is the permanent solution. So I'm not sure if you would have to re-jailbreak with that. I don't know. But yeah, so this is news to us. I was just checking my Twitter feed and I just saw that. So I guess the Evasion 7, the other Evasion 7 news that we had is sort of irrelevant now because now we got two new Evasion 7 things. So what do you think about that? Do you think do you think it's good that they updated that?
Yeah, I mean, Evasion updates itself like once a week.
Yeah, they update a lot. Well, and to give credit to the developers, though, they've really been really good with this kind of stuff. I mean, as soon as 7.0.5 came out, bam, within I want to say a day, within a day, there was a jailbreak for it. 7.0.6, bam, 2 hours there was a jailbreak for it. I mean, it's like maybe not 2 hours, I'd say a day, but still. Wow, like the developers, Pod2G and all those famous hackers and developers, they really push out these updates fast. So I do give them a lot of credit. And yeah, so I'm sorry to interrupt this entire thing, but that's just news to us because we didn't know. So anyway, the next thing we have to talk about is No Grabber. Now this is a new jailbreak tweak. That sort of just came out. And basically, this really doesn't bug me. You can put in your input too when I'm done, Max. But basically, what this tweak allows you to do, basically on a YouTube video, if you swipe up or swipe down for Control Center or Notification Center, you would get, when you're trying to play a video on YouTube or Netflix, or you're playing a game, say Flappy Bird, and you want to access Notification Center or Control Center, there's a little grabber that comes down, and basically that's there to protect you in case you grab down on the screen while you're tapping the screen. Say you're playing Flappy Bird and you tap too far up, instead of that coming all the way down and disrupting the gameplay, it's coming down as an inch. It's coming down as a grabber. So does that affect your gameplay at all, Max? Like, do you? Because I really don't notice that. Do you?
Not really. I mean, it's like something that's like there, but it's not really like that useful.
Yeah. So the next thing we have to talk about is Jester. I think I'm saying that right, Jester. Now what this allows you to do is basically, I have not got this for myself yet. It is available on the Big Boss Repo, I think, for $1.99. I think everything's $1.99 now. But basically, what this allows you to do is you can swipe down onto Notification Center, and it's a new new tab in Notification Center, and basically you are able to draw a symbol, and that symbol coordinates to a certain S. So say you drew an S on that tab, if it was configured for S to bring up settings, then the S would bring up settings. If you drew a T and it was configured for, if you drew an F and it was configured for Flappy Bird, then it would bring up Flappy Bird. So it's a pretty cool tweak, and I like it. I haven't tested it out yet. Do you think you'll test it out? I mean, I'm probably gonna grab it from Cydia as soon as this podcast is done.
Yeah, I'll probably get it too. It should help me, and yeah.
So, one of the last things, well, actually, this is the last thing, and then we'll wrap up for the week. But Apple's actually going, now it's rumored that Apple's to launch the new iOS in the car feature next week with new car models, such as a brand new Ferrari and a couple of other car models. So this means that it will definitely, most likely, be implemented in the final version of 7.1. We could even see it earlier. Maybe they will be, I doubt it, because 7.1 will probably bring along the iOS in the car feature as well as the dark keyboard locally and all that kind of stuff without jailbreaking. But, we really don't we're not going to use that because, I mean, it's a nice feature to have, sure. It'll definitely be really cool, but, I'm not going to get a car anytime soon. I'm not old enough to get a car. I don't have a driver's license. But for my family and for my parents and everything, I think it'd be really cool. Now, I'm not sure if it would be through Bluetooth, through an update that they would set for all the cars. Maybe it's just for for supporting dealerships and supporting brands and stuff like that. Maybe you would only be able to get one to get iOS in the car if you had a Lamborghini or if you had a Ferrari or a really nice car like that. You may not be able to do it if you had a Ford Fusion or an Acura or a Tesla or whatever. But I don't know. So this will definitely be something that will be really awesome that we could see implemented into 7.1. But what do you think? Do you think this is a cool feature?
Well, like I said before in one of the other podcasts, I think it was, like one of the earlier ones, I said, we were talking about the iWatch. Yeah, it was the iWatch. I said it's good to see that Apple is branching out from not just only doing iPads, iTouches. They're branching out to, like, iWatches. They're branching out to, like, things in the car, which is very good to see from a company from Apple that was solely based off of the Mac.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I just remembered this, I'm sorry. This will be the last thing, and then we'll wrap up. And this is actually a great send-off. So I don't remember if we talked about this in a previous episode, but I do remember hearing that Bill Gates actually stepped down as CEO a while back, a couple of years ago. And I think about a month or so ago, he stepped down as chairman, and he's back. He's not CEO, but he's back as chairman. But I think altogether, I mean, I'm not rooting for Microsoft because I think I like Apple a lot better. I think Microsoft, I guess I'm rooting for Microsoft just a little bit, maybe because, they're so far behind in technology. Apple's, it seems like, decades ahead of what Microsoft is right now. And I think that's solely because, look, they got Xbox. That's basically their biggest brand right now, Xbox. The Xbox One, the Xbox 360, whatever. It's just Xbox in general. I think that's a really big part of Microsoft. That's probably one of the biggest mini franchises in Microsoft that they have right now. And Windows 8 isn't doing them real well. Vista didn't do them real well. XP. I mean, there's a lot of things. Maybe maybe Windows 9 will be really good because of Bill Gates and because of this new CEO. And maybe they're pushing in the right direction. Maybe they're going in the direction that Apple's going in, and maybe they'll start implementing their own OS into cars and into things like that. Because Microsoft does make phones. They do make phones and they do make tablets like Apple. It's just Apple's a little bit more dominant in the phone and tablet market. So we could see that change, even though I don't think it'll shift and change in perspective for at least another year or so. But who knows? What do you think about that, Max?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. It's
Yeah.
a very good way to end our podcast.
Yeah. Alright, guys. So, yeah, that's it for episode number 7 of Let's Talk Tech. So, yeah, that's it for now. Same time next week, Matt?
Sure thing.
Okay. Alright. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.